All right, so let me start with mentioning that I'm currently implementing this concept, which I've been using now in a lot of these streams. It's called MCMS, is the acronym I'm giving it for now. It's a technology I've been engineering for several years, and I've probably built around, and I say built, well, designed in particular. I'm an engineer, through and through. I'm kind of tired of the fact that we obsess over, well, I've got it on the list here, kind of gatekeeping. I'm the kind of person that will rip through, any of your misconceptions about, how you thought you could gatekeep someone or what they're capable of doing. And I don't mean in a threatening way. I mean like, well, I'll show you myself if you really push things that far. But part of the thing in this particular case, I'm just trying to get the focus of Voyager 2 here to adjust. In this particular case, I've got a lot to talk about in this video, in this stream. Now, that's one of the main things for me to emphasize. First of all, okay, this is kind of cluttered. I'm going to clean some of this up more, but I want to emphasize that, part of the reason I'm starting this way, all my videos are thrown together right now. That if you're watching my content, whether on VODs or Spotify, even YouTube, YouTube, some of it you won't have to fast forward that much, but especially on Spotify and the VODs especially. I'm using this kind of as an archive right now because I've got to be able to go back. Some of them I'll edit myself. I normally am the kind of person I like to sit. I'm not a perfectionist in any way, but I like to just make sure, I'm editing, videos. I take out what I prefer, to actually publish. And that's the thing, right? That's the way I work. I've always had a lot of things going in a good way, all at one time. And so when my job, for example, is taking all of my time, then I'm kind of like, okay, here and there, Saturday morning, I'll sit down and do some podcasts. There's a lot of mental preparation for those, right? Years and years in some cases. I don't mean per podcast necessarily. I mean that I'm someone that I research a lot. And, for example, I've got on this list investigative journalism, right? Well, that's not something you're going to be loud about. Why is that? In this day and age, it's a fucking liability. All right, I should have started there. 18 plus only, trigger warning, explicit content. All of my content is rated mature as of at least, everything that I've been publishing. That's what I'm saying. I have always wanted to make educational content, and not even necessarily just for young people, but I think it's unfair in that specific content if I, don't kind of hold back on some of the language and things like that. And so that was always my intent. Now, that being said, though, let me emphasize that everyone has freedom of speech in the United States of America. We have constitutionally protected freedom of speech. That means I have every single right if I, want to make content of any certain form, as long as I'm, obeying the law, following terms of service, which I am doing, then I have every right to do so. Now, in this particular context, part of the reason that I'm having to edit kind of on the fly, right? I built the system. That's kind of what it was about. And that's the whole thing. I'm sort of doing a live portfolio and a technical demo all at the same time. But I want to emphasize that this context that's being created for my life is not just illegal, it's fucking terrible. It's completely fucking terrible. And to be honest with you, that's the whole thing. Let me emphasize, I'm not mentally ill in any way, shape, or form, but that specific dumb, psychotic fucking lie has been told about me over and over and over and over again. And why is that? Well, now it's not just for any few reasons, to be honest with you. I am a law-abiding citizen through and through, but to be honest with you, a lot of cops, I'm not saying all, see, I'm on the side of the police, but I'm also saying that there are no sides. How do I put it that way? I'm pro-law enforcement objectively, and yet I've been castigated and treated like I'm some just living fucking piece of shit by so many people. It's so despicably terrible. So many lies told about me, and quite frankly, that's one of the main things for me to emphasize in the title of this recording. These people in the family are straight up fucking communists. They are communists through and through. There's nothing else to call them. That's exactly what they are. They pretend like they're, like the free-loving conservative folk out there, but no, they're actual fucking communists. Despicably, I know I just said that, right? 1 sec, I'm not sure even why my desktop, changed the way it did there. I didn't click, but all right, there we go. This is what I clicked on. Okay, so I'm working with very, very ridiculously limited resources. To say that, is the understatement of all lifetime. That's part of what's so despicable about what these people have done. They've sat around subjecting me to relentless and illegal modern slavery, and I'll be honest with you, not a single member of this organization will ever have an ask from me so long as I live. They've been so fucking psychotic. They've committed violent hate crime after violent hate crime after violent hate crime. They've actually victimized innocent Americans trying to frame me. They own the DEA themselves, and then when they all knew that they were caught, the DEA tried to fucking murder me in cold blood outside the city of San Marcos, Texas. And I'm not making that up. I'm not the only witness to that in any way. In fact, that's what's so terrible is some of these people bitch about the government, and yet they tried to start a new world order, a government above all governments, and that was always Russian propaganda, let me emphasize. That was always Russian propaganda. That was not some Christian thing. That was not some Christian prophecy in any way, shape, or form. That was always fucking Russian propaganda. How do I emphasize this? These people bitch about the fucking government, as I said, and yet the government had to save my life from the government, oddly enough. So me, this innocent little fucking puppy, the government had to save my life from murderous fucking pieces of shit like this guy and DEA who serve him loyally like they're goddamn dogs, ironically enough. So no, I'm not a dog, and I do not see myself as such. I've just been treated like I'm a fucking slave dog for so long, and I need our government. Again, I'm not trying to be ungrateful because they saved my life. I don't even own a gun, okay? I don't even want to own a gun. And literally a guy that used to be my friend he has a long fucking history of real deep-seated mental health problems, Michael Brumbach, was sitting around with a bunch of alt-right militia members during this, not giving a fuck about who they're helping, actually being happy to help people like this. Let me emphasize, being more than happy to help people like this piece of shit. And he wanted to murder me because I really didn't want it to happen, but because I had sex with someone that he once dated. That's the honest to God truth, y'all. Had sex with someone that he once dated, and in Texas we sat around allowing perjury freely. That was not rape, if it was ever called that. And the fact that I was denied my constitutionally guaranteed human rights to even speak for myself, which would have prevented us from ever landing in a spot where we ever thought there was a debate to be had. There was no fucking debate to be had in any way, shape, or form. Let me emphasize that. I'm not trying to sound cold. I've got on this list because it's true. I'm very anti-misogyny. There was no fucking debate to be had. No one could ever call that rape. That, she told me, quite frankly, that her boyfriend that she had, broken up with was very abusive. And then that's the thing, y'all. I wasn't trying to get with her. I wasn't trying to get back with her. I'm not a jealous man. That's what these people fucking project upon me. I'm the opposite of a jealous man. And yet, apparently, I guess that guy is super fucking jealous of me. He's been also an insecure piece of shit in the Air Force, sitting around, probably committing federal felony after federal felony after federal felony. And I'll be honest, that man might be going to prison for the rest of his life. I don't actually, I'll be honest, I'm working with the information that I have, but I do know this fucking organization has sat around acting like they're my friend, or like they're, trying to keep me safe, and they're not. They're fucking anti-labor Nazis. They've sat around wanting slavery to be legal again, and slavery is not legal in the United States of America, in case anyone was under the mistaken impression that it ever was again after we outlawed it. Right. That's the thing, y'all. Slavery is not fucking legal. I don't understand for a moment how anyone ever thought that any of this could ever be considered reconcilable. And it's not that I'm confused, y'all. Let me emphasize that. Even staring at the screen that I currently have up should resoundingly assert to anyone that it certainly is not that I'm, quote, confused. DEA are fucking psychopaths. They will lie to the police. They will. Just like this organization, this is the problem. This organization, what they'll do is they look at social services like they're fucking nothing. Like they're so easy to own, and they just have people lie straight to social services so that they can get equipment installed in their homes. They've said that I'm, quote, schizo. Michael Brumback committed multiple federal felonies during this pandemic, one of them being while calling completely consciously fraudulent welfare checks into the local police, when he and I have had conversation after conversation, and he knows better than anyone I'm not a harm to myself. There's really no way to put it. Like, even the day that he called in the first welfare check very fraudulently, I was actually just dealing with fucking straight up psychopathic abuse from our manager that, while Michael had, Brian Karp, to be clear, I'll say his name actually very openly now because I'm so fucking done with these people. They've committed felony after felony after felony. The family has committed felony after felony after felony. Anybody that wants to try to sue me, you're fucked, because I can prove what I'm saying, and I'm so goddamn sick of people out there in this country acting like, no, you just gotta take it, little guy. You just gotta take it. These people didn't fucking save me. They set me up to begin with, and not one of them will ever have an ask from me for the rest of my life. People saying things to me like, oh, the band's just around the corner. Yeah, I know the band. No, you fucking relentlessly tortured a human being with reckless abandon, no legal communication whatsoever. I can prove that you are absolutely violating my constitutionally guaranteed human rights, and it sounded like, based upon, well, that's the whole point. You thought that you had a, quote, warrant. There's no warrant that makes any of what happened that I can prove legal. Let me emphasize, there's no warrant on the planet Earth which can make legal what we freely allowed now for 3 goddamn years. I came up to the state that I was born in, Dover, Delaware. Well, of course, that's a city, right? No, I came to Delaware, where I was fucking born, in Dover, to give my testimony, which I was illegally prevented from providing down in Texas. And what does my family do? They turn around and they literally tell the same fucking psychopathic lies to social services and the police. Apparently, a DEA agent named Chuck Thompson lies to the police, it sounds like, accusing me of stealing. I do not steal, nor have I ever stolen, nor will I ever. I'm not a criminal in any way, shape, or form. If anything, I'm the complete opposite of a criminal. I'm an investigative journalist and a legal investigative journalist. These people are fucking mad because they know that I could talk about their mafia, and so they sit subjecting me to illegal modern slavery, acting like this shit is legal or reconcilable, actually misattributing public resources, which sounds like what it is. It's communism. It's violent fucking communism in this case, because that's exactly what these people on the family are, y'all. They're violent fucking communists. Eric Morris of Victory City Church in Pflugerville, Texas. Violent fucking communist. Alright, I'm sitting here looking down at the whole world right now, looking at everyone just like, what the fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we doing to let this keep going? What the fuck are we doing to let this shit keep going? I do not understand how fucking sick inside some of you have to be to act like this shit could ever be considered legal. It's literal torture, yo. It is literal fucking torture, and that's not my personal personal opinion, these fucking people, they act like they're church people, of course, and, Google Earth, it's not there. I can go to Google Maps really easily and quickly, and I don't even care if that's the point. I know it's not there in Google Earth when I'm pulling it up. What I'm saying is I'm looking down upon all of you now because you look like the world's greatest, most despicable fucking trash right now. I don't know how any of you on the planet Earth would like to try to say, oh no, it's just, keep a secret, be quiet, be quiet about what? These people won't let me work a single fucking job. I go from job that, let me emphasize, y'all, go from a job that I fucking love, my own family lying straight to my face about this abusive, torturous goddamn bullshit, which I can prove myself way back then, and I had quit that job because, quite frankly, it's a liability to me. Every fucking job I have with these people being enabled, they're deploying something called NSO Group's Pegasus, which I'm more than kind of familiar with at this point, and I should not be. That's the thing. It's never been legal for a single moment that it's been involved in my life. Never for a moment has the use of NSO Group's Pegasus in my life been legal in any way, shape, or form. And so I'm asking, what the fuck do you expect me to do? These people are sitting around acting like I'm some little irresponsible guy. I had a good income. I finally fucking got health insurance when I was denied health insurance for fucking so long, over a goddamn decade, and I disobeyed my parents for the first time ever to take a job because I was saying I will pay my own way at the doctor. Just let me use your insurance. That's all that I need. I have physical fucking disabilities and they're denying me health care. And then I finally do that. I get health insurance after slaving away, being so underpaid for over a year. And what does my own family turn around and do? So illegally, they fucking sell me into literal modern slavery. To violent fucking communists, yo. To straight up violent fucking communists. Communists I've been investigating since 2012. I don't give a fuck if you believe me. That's part of why this man hates me so much. You can complain about anything else you want. That's the problem. None of you have had any goddamn context. And I've been sitting here saying there's so much more. There's so much more. There's so much more. There's always been so much more, y'all. There's still so much more than I can even give you in a single fucking live stream. And that's the point. This shit needs to be cut off immediately. I swear to God, I will literally go every single legal route that I have at my disposal, and it's going to make some of you very, very fucking upset every day further that you let this shit continue, because I'm not kidding, y'all. You have no idea what I am capable of. You never knew to begin with, and you sat around playing some more than ridiculous fucking games with a human being's waking existence for over 3 goddamn years. To act like I'm an invalid or like I can't even manage my finances. You fucked up my career that I loved. You so intentionally fucked up my finances. That's the thing. It's right in the title of this stream in this permanent publication. These people have a long history of being anti-labor. That's exactly what they are, y'all. They're the real fucking communists, and they wanted to abuse the living hell out of my waking existence. They wanted a living slave. Debbie was never my friend. She was a fucking slave driver, y'all. How fucking dare you people sit around and act like slavery can be legal again because some stupid piece of shit that is, how do I put it best, y'all? She's pretending, y'all. She's playing pretend. She's playing both sides. The shit that she said to me was just an absolute assertion that she doesn't give a single fuck about me as a human being, yo. Never did she. She's a fucking psychopath. That's what Debbie is, y'all. She's a straight up fucking psychopath. There's so much more context than any of you had. And like I said, I can't even give it all in this video. But quite frankly, look at that. I mean, some people will watch this stream and they have no idea what I'm talking about. And it's going out to the whole world now, motherfuckers. I need you to understand that you did something here that you will regret for the rest of your goddamn lives. Because there are some things that cannot be solved with lawyers or with money or with owning every fucking cop, apparently. And that's what I can't believe. I will put it this way, y'all. There's no way that you own every fucking cop, but it's way too many. Let me put it that way. Too many loyal fucking slaves, no integrity, no loyalty to their country, nor the oath that they took to just openly serve this communist fucking regime right here. These people tried to start a new world order, and I could be so much louder about exactly what they've done for decades now to try to make that happen. There's so much congressional action now that has to come out of this. I'm not kidding, yo. Anybody that watches this, anybody that watches my streams, this is part of why it's been so complicated, y'all. These people are actively committing illegal acts of censorship, felony crime. Seriously, they really are. I've got, I don't care if you understand my methodologies, y'all. I'm actually serious. I am on the autism spectrum. It's part of what makes all this shit complicated. I'm not asking my family to believe me, and to be honest with you, I never needed them to believe me to begin with. That's part of what's so terrible. They think that I need them. No, I fucking don't. I don't fucking need them in my life. I don't need them to believe me. In fact, I'm saying that they'll never be a part of my life ever again because they decided to try to sell their son, their family member, their actual relative into slavery for a goddamn violent communist regime. And there was a bunch of goddamn sharks lurking already that I had just confidentially communicated about at my job, and none of them knew what my fucking job was for a moment, despite me trying to tell them over and over and over again. It doesn't matter now. It's completely fucking gone now! Definitely in this stream, I'm not going to complain about the fact that I've been subjected to sleep deprivation, real sleep deprivation, techniques developed in the 60s, y'all. I've been subjected to starvation, torture, sleep deprivation. I've been subjected to all kinds of fucking threats of violence, repeated fucking hate crimes now, literal hate crimes. Some hate crimes committed trying to kill me in real life, literally murder me, delete me from reality. Some hate crimes committed to fucking frame me. I really cannot emphasize enough that there is nothing which could ever be said or done to make any of this shit okay at any point in time, no matter what anyone wants to try and say. And that's what I'm saying. I've got days. I'm not kidding, yo. This is not a threat in any way. What I'm saying is that I will not fucking tolerate the repeated psychopathic illegal fucking violation of my constitutionally guaranteed rights when not a moment of this was ever legal to begin with. I need our government to take action about this. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be mad at the wrong people. Well, I'm not trying to be mad at the right people. Is that it? Because that's been a dynamic here this whole time, y'all. These people are participating in something we call a shared psychotic disorder. They are fucking insane for thinking that any moment of this could have ever been considered legal or reasonable in any way. I will never be friends with any of them. I will never be a quote member of the family. I will never date any any of them. I will never marry any of them. And that's what I've been saying repeatedly to anybody that even thought they wanted to marry me from that godforsaken organization. I don't hate you. I don't hate anyone on the planet Earth. The problem is that you don't understand what you're a part of. These fucking people, they're so evil. They will literally wait. They will literally get I'm serious. Like, they'll be like, oh no, he's a good guy for you. And then they will fucking wait and they will kill the both of us. That's how fucking bloodthirsty and completely psychopathic they are. That is how fucking violent they are. They will wait years. They will wait months. They will wait days. I need our government to actually fucking address this national security concern for what it is, because it's so much more than just a fucking national security concern. These people are so fucking violent, and then they go up on stage and they pretend like they're good people, like they're patriots, like they're just some good old preachers. They're not some good old preachers, yo. Jesus fucking Christ. They need some Jesus. That's for damn sure. That is the problem, though. They go up, and they pretend like they're good people. You remember in the Netflix documentary, this guy, that's the only reason. I don't hate this man, just like I don't hate any of them. But the problem is that his lies are just so fucking paper thin. You can see it on his face even when he's saying it. No, I'm not a human lie detector in any way, y'all. I'm talking, evaluating the body language, quite frankly. You can literally see that, well, okay, yeah, we don't have any, secrets. We just enjoy, people in the family, you don't really talk about the family. There's no, conspiracies going on around here, there's none of them, conspiracies or nothing. There's, conspiracies going on around the fucking family. We're not, murdering innocent Americans, trying to frame innocent Americans or anything like that. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. We just really kind of value our privacy, but that little fucking Voyager puppy, he doesn't deserve any privacy at all, because we fucking hate him. He's like an investigative journalist. What'd they say about the Netflix one? No, I don't mean it. I'm not trying to diminish him when I say the Netflix one. I mean the investigative journalist that did the Netflix documentary the first time. What did they fucking say about him? They're sitting there saying, oh yeah, well, he was kind of like a fox in the hen house, that other guy, right? Yeah, that's pretty decent, right? The impression of him. Yeah, he was a fox in the hen house, huh, y'all? Yeah, well, it sounds like you need some fucking watchdogs in your fucking goddamn cabal. That's what it sounds like, y'all, because you are the real fucking cabal. You're a goddamn cult, and that's where I've been sitting here like, do you people even realize, honestly, cults are designed where you don't even know what you're a part of from the beginning. You don't understand that it is literally a cult, but you're just gulping down so much of that fucking Kool-Aid. I'm just sitting there having to reconcile, do you actually understand how fucking terrible your organization is? Do you even fucking know how evil it is, what you've done to me in real life for over 3 goddamn years? Because I am this innocent little fucking puppy, and I'm not gonna sit around and ask people to believe me anymore. I'm gonna publish it myself, because members of my own family just want to psychotically lie straight to my face, like, oh, what are you talking about? It's like, no, I know what I'm talking about. I can literally show you the logs. I can show you exactly what spyware is being used. When you're talking about, you need to just accept the fucking slavery that we're going to throw in your face, but then we're going to say, oh no, what's wrong with you? Is something wrong with your little brain, your little puppy brain? Because what? You can actually smell trouble. You can hear problems going on. There's a lot of fucking evil shit lurking in the darkness, and that's the problem, y'all. My own family make me have to decide, do you know these people are violent? Do you know that these people will actually fucking murder innocent people trying to frame me for that shit? And it sounds like they actually have, which is the problem, yo. I'm working with limited information in a way, but these people are throwing in my face the most psychotic abuse every single moment of my life. And then people, around me in my life, they're like, what are you doing on your computer all the time? Yeah, it's like, well, I would be doing remote work. That's what I wanted to do. I needed a workstation. I needed one secure cell phone. That's it. And the honest to God truth is, I'm a fucking engineer. I always have it just not been paid well for the immense amount of fucking education that I have, the immense amount of fucking work that I produce every single day. I slaved away, and it wasn't the company, at the top of everything that I was mad at, but that's what makes it so complicated. I don't even want to, talk about anyone. I just wanted to fucking do my job. And these fucking slave drivers, these anti-labor fucking slave drivers are sitting there doing everything they can to create a perpetuated fraudulent image about who I am. They don't give a single fuck about me. They don't give a single fuck about anyone in my actual family. And that's exactly what Doug Coe was always saying. You need to put these goddamn Nazis before anything and everyone in your life. You need to put these fucking Nazis before anything and everyone, including your own family. And so that's the point, everyone. These people have called me every ridiculous, mean fucking name under the sun. They'll try to call me vain or narcissistic, y'all. I don't like being on camera, if I'm being honest with you. I don't okay, do I hate it? Well, that's the thing. I don't hate anyone and I don't hate anything. What I'm saying is, y'all, that, part of the reason it's complicated, this whole situation with the fucking relentless amount of felony crime that has been committed in hacking me and trying to prevent me from, providing legal testimony to begin with. Let me emphasize, y'all, when I say muzzled, this is exactly what I'm referring to. These people are literally hacking every fucking device that I own, including this workstation I'm on right now, including the iPhone XR to my right, including the iPhone 8 Plus to my left, including the Google Pixel 3a XL behind my head up there, including the Motorola G Power up to my top left, right? This shit is fucking ridiculous, including this device, which is a G Power 2021. I don't want to have a bunch of cell phones, y'all. The only reason I ever did was because of this shitty fucking company, NSO Group, which is actually known to openly help fucking terrorists. And that's where it's like, wow, you people in my own family, do you even know about that shit? That's not some cute little Israeli tool in any way, shape, or form. These people are fucking psychopathic. I don't think any of you have any fucking idea how evil their goddamn technology is or what it is capable of doing, but I do know because, I've had to reverse engineer it time after time after time. I've had to study it and research it myself. I've had to collect logs and evidence of it myself, and no one can ever go back and delete it. No one can ever go back and pretend that it wasn't happening. No one can ever go back and pretend that this shit wasn't wired up to Discord to subject me to this relentless fucking slavery. And quite frankly, where else was it wired up to? I don't even want to imagine, in a way, but that's the thing. It's not mental illness. I'm just saying that that is some sick fucking shit in any case. No matter how you want to talk about it, that's not some cutesy shit, y'all. These people, they're helping fucking terrorists and they know it, and their product is going to be banned from the United States at this point, y'all. It's congressional action no matter what happens, and I'm just one victim of so goddamn many from these fucking jihadist terrorists. it creates this chasm in objective reality, which is completely fucking inhumane, yo. It is not just kind of sort of evil. It is completely fucking despicable, because I can prove in a federal court of law for how long and on how many devices this shit has been abused. And quite frankly, it's like some of you think that that doesn't matter, yo. But trust me, it does fucking matter. It matters a lot, because how dare you sit around and act like someone is suffering from mental illness when you're fucking streaming to a social media service, literally exfiltrating data from their private property with the use of passive recording from a fucking militarized surveillance tool, yo. So just to explain to anyone, this design that I've been working on for a long time, which I wanted to patent before I ever showed anyone, quite frankly, you know, part of the whole reason now I'm having to use it is because, well, these people have just fucking lied about where I'm at or what I'm doing all the time. And I can't even, like, this camera doesn't have a ton of battery left. I can't even, you know, keep it plugged in up here, right? But the thing is, like, okay, so I step outside to vape a little nicotine. Well, now I'm gonna fucking document 24 hours a day. They've actually repeatedly pulled the same shit in Austin. They were planting shit in my car. Literally, we had to put a cloud camera pointed at my car all the time. They're using human intelligence quote techniques to have people get in my car with Lyft and then tell me, like, oh no, I need you to go over up here a little bit off the route. Yeah, and what are they trying to do? I know, because I know all about what they're fucking, I've already looked under my car. Every time it's just like, Jesus fucking Christ, y'all. They're actually, not only do they have GPS devices separate on my vehicle, but then they've got Pegasus on the phone. And so on top of that, they're basically like, well, again, they're actually brute forcing the Lyft and the DoorDash app at times, making, you know, fake API calls, essentially, you know, faking that they're API calls. See, I can speak to this quite well, to be honest with you, in a very, very official and legal capacity, but I've also been suffering, quite frankly, y'all, suffering relentlessly, not mental illness, suffering food insecurity, suffering from lack of sleep. I've already been suffering from lack of health care as part of why I was busting my ass at that job, and then just out of nowhere, these fucking psychopaths insert themselves so illegally into my life. Straight up public corruption from the very beginning, and they just try to wrap their goddamn hands around my throat, and they've kept their hands there for 3 fucking years straight. It is so illegal, and it is so beyond inhumane, and I cannot understand how anyone that wants to bitch about, quote, shithole countries could sit around in the United States and try to act like any moment of this despicable behavior could ever be considered okay. It's not okay. Despicable behavior could ever be considered okay. It's not okay. Despicable behavior could ever be considered okay. It's not okay. So obviously, as I'm showing, what I did there was I unmuted the separate Twitch stream that I'm currently using, right? I do really appreciate, any company that's obeying the law. I have constitutionally protected freedom of speech. I'm not sponsored by any company. There's no endorsement. I've been working alone, and that's part of the problem. This iPhone XR I bought in the state of Delaware. No one had any legal right to redeploy Pegasus to my private property in any way, shape, or form. And I've already been publicizing that evidence very publicly. So I don't want to publicize my proprietary tools that I write to protect myself, which I also have every right to do, just like I have every right to gain root access to any of my devices, as every American has every right to do. I can't really speak for other countries and their laws, but I can speak for our laws, and our law is very clear about that. Those of you that talk about the Second Amendment so much, well, that's the thing. I'm actually pro-Second Amendment, but I am not anti-gun control. And for me, it's pretty simple to say that. We do need gun control. We need at least some reasonable legislation around that. And we can't bang our chests about the Second Amendment and then turn around and act like I'm not allowed to defend myself. It's plain and simple constitutional law, if nothing else, y'all. It really is that black and white. If you want to try to act like things are so simple, well, that's fucking cut and dry. That is simple as fuck. If you deploy Pegasus to a bunch of my private properties so illegally, I have every right to turn around and talk about it, y'all. And I have every right to turn around and say, okay, NSO Group needs to be banned with congressional action from the United States, because clearly these people will not fucking behave. They will not fucking use this tool for what it is intended, which is fighting literal terrorism. Instead, just like Khashoggi and many other countless examples, they're using it to try to frame people, to silence journalists, to surveil whoever they so choose in secret, and they just wish that people didn't know enough to defend themselves, which is fucking despicable that they would even approach things with that forethought and that consciousness from the beginning. It's actually fucking despicable. Really, I don't even want to go through all of my design for something like this, sitting here publicly live streaming in multiple locations, right? This is the way it works. Twitch.tv/Voyager0 is the main feed. That's my main microphone and my workstation, right? So I dial everything in through there. And then you can also go to Twitch.tv/Voyager1. That's the phone in my hand, the iPhone XR. You can go to Twitch.tv/Voyager2. That's the iPhone 8 Plus to my left, sitting there on a stool on top of a fucking fold-out table, all right? This whole thing is fucking ridiculous, that this phone in my hand multiple times, for example, I've had to point Voyager 2, the iPhone 8 Plus, at this iPhone because the stream has been cut off right in the middle, and that's not Twitch, that's not Amazon, that's nothing to do with the internet on my phone. That is Pegasus. They're remotely using their root access to this device to cut that off, and there are multiple different ways they can do that, but they don't seem to realize. Let me emphasize who that really is. Is it NSO Group themselves, or is it DEA? Well, quite frankly, it's DEA in this case, because DEA has implicated themselves so deeply in this. They have actually helped coordinate, and in some cases, it very much seems like they themselves, as in, I'm looking at that kidnapping going, that was probably a federal agent that attempted a kidnapping, having that access to my phone right there. And what makes that even more despicable is that the state of Texas had surveillance equipment in that apartment, which expunges me immediately from that. Immediately. I didn't set foot outside of my apartment the night that was referenced that there was an attempted kidnapping. So for anyone to pretend like that was even a possibility is fucking despicable, especially given that I also was, well, in my own investigation, I found that a copy of the key to my apartment was made by AC contractors who were freely given a key in the first place, and one of them left for hours. I mean, they both did for a while, and they come back and they're already being so sketchy and ridiculous the whole time. They don't even fix the fucking AC unit. Time after time after time, I'm told that things will be repaired in that apartment, and they never were. And then time after time, I'm told that, oh, well, okay, no. For the first time, I'm told they can't even change the lock. And then the second time, I'm told, okay, maybe. And then the third time, I'm just like, they won't even fucking do it. They won't even fucking change the lock to mine. It's so illegal. Just to emphasize, every single moment of what has happened has been so goddamn illegal, and yet we sit around like, oh no, you just need to take it, you little fucking boy, you just need to fucking take it. No, I don't need to just take it. You people are trash for expecting someone to live with this group abuse, group harassment. It's so fucking dangerous. It's so fucking illegal in every way. For one man to have to go to these lengths just to protect himself and defend the plain and simple, irrefutable, objective truth, I'm disgusted, yo. And I should be. Any of you would be as well. Because the truth is, I would be fucking dead already. The government had to save my life from the government. And what I'm sitting here looking at is how the fuck do we even allow any moment of this to continue when, well, I'm not the only witness to the fact that the DEA actually attempted to murder me outside the city of San Marcos, Texas. And part of the reason why was that, well, I didn't have my cell phones with me then, knowing that they had already just shot me in a goddamn drive-by in Austin with an airsoft gun, because I did have my phones with me, and they knew exactly where I was right then and there. How the fuck do any of you reconcile any of that? That's what I'm saying, especially when we just let the same goddamn illegal terrible behavior continue, y'all. There's nothing about this that can be legally reconciled in any way, and I'm not claiming that. I'm asserting that on the public record over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm sitting here saying, well, for months and months and months now, I could have been doing remote work as I wanted to do with this workstation. I needed one secure phone and one secure workstation. I could be buying groceries for my grandmother, paying half of her bill, and instead my family's sitting here treating me like I'm some ungrateful piece of shit if they even throw a few crumbs of food my way, when I've been subjected to starvation torture for 2 fucking years. The government itself, even if it's just the DEA, it's the DEA and law enforcement in Texas. Let's be clear about that, because Greg Abbott, Ken Paxton, they fucking know about this shit. They know exactly who I am. They've always known that I'm innocent. And so how the fuck does anyone reconcile that, yo? That means that the governor of the state of Texas is choosing to push violent criminals back out into the community of Texas, where they're just gonna do it again instead of just telling the fucking truth. So what do you have to hide, Greg Abbott? What do you have to hide, Ken Paxton? I wasn't even, after you. I was never some political guy. I was never some musician. I was never some anybody. I didn't publish anything. Now I've published one work is copyrighted after all of this stolen from me for fucking years on end. All of my work, my entire life, my identity stolen over and over and over again. My legal identity, my social security number stolen. HIPAA laws violated with reckless fucking abandon, and I have nothing to hide from you people whatsoever. The truth is, I've lacked for healthcare. The truth is, I am on the autism spectrum. The truth is I absolutely do have a neurological disability. At the very least, from a severe car accident that I unfortunately was just a passenger in Abilene, Texas. And none of you have any place to deny that. What I'm saying is you need to wake the fuck up and understand I'm a good man and a good person and a good American, and that's irrefutable. Well, I've been saying from the beginning, well, if you're really even concerned, first of all, the data is irrefutable. It's completely irrefutable. But second of all, put me on a fucking polygraph. See, put me in a goddamn interrogation room. And that's the problem, though. Law enforcement in Texas always had that option. In fact, I was actually asking for that. I wanted that because that would force us to actually talk through this and resolve it. But instead of wanting to resolve it, they wanted to defame me. They wanted to publicly humiliate me when they already freely allowed perjury, and they knew it. That perjury could have never occurred if my constitutionally guaranteed rights were ever regarded from the beginning. But that's the problem, is if they were regarded, perjury could have never occurred. If they were regarded, we very quickly and easily would have resolved the fact that co-workers and DEA worked together this whole time. They committed reckless fucking felonies over and over and over again, and some of those felonies included committing crimes on my personal internet connection, which I also can prove and also have evidence of. So I'm sitting here saying, when the fuck are we going to obey the law and actually defend the innocent people of Texas? Are we just going to sit around and continue terrorizing one innocent man, playing fucking culture wars when I was never a culture warrior to begin with? Making music is just one thing that I do. It's not even my main thing. My main thing is computers. My main thing is technology. My other main thing is psychology. That's what the two eyes in Voyager actually represented. It had nothing to do with iPhones. It had nothing to do with Apple or any company. It had everything to do with the fact that, well, I'm passionate about technology. I'm passionate about psychology. I'm an apolitical anti-radical, and that term should have never scared anyone. All that means is that from the beginning of forming any political perspective, I was saying, well, you know what, we need more apoliticism, because I'm seeing a lot of radicalization in the United States, and I'm seeing exactly where that comes from the beginning. Remember, when I say investigating these people since 2012, this is why, because of this motherfucker right here, and understanding that, wow, wait a minute, this is just a shell for him. The family is the secret weapon of Vladimir Putin, and they have no plausible deniability. This is exactly who they serve, very knowingly. In fact, they're asserting that over and over and over again on the public record. I'm sitting here communicating to Ken, Paxton and Greg Abbott. They can't claim they're not seeing my tweets. I know that they're fucking seeing my tweets, and that's not the only form of communication that I've provided. So they need to regard the fact that all of that is on the public record. They can never go back and say they're not members of the family. They can never go back and say that they didn't know that I was innocent all this time. And so what the fuck are we doing? Why would we let this continue? Why would anyone in Delaware want to get the exact same illegal modern slavery set back up when I'm sitting here saying that I was muzzled and that I was literally just needing to provide my legal testimony to begin with, which I have every single right to do, and yet I'm here and DEA is still hacking on my shit. DEA is still actually committing illegal acts of censorship over and over and over again, just again publicly asserting that they know they're defending real violent criminals. I would like a public answer for my very public communication about this, because the law has not been regarded or obeyed for a single moment, and no one is positioned in any way to claim that it has been.